Good evening, and welcome to Poteriaco News with me, Patty Spence. Hooray! On tonight's Poteriaco News, I'll be chatting with Dr. Vaughan Bidwar as he tells me about cultural discourse, social construction, and Go Papa Maori theory through research. A little later, I'll be chatting with Linda Russ as she tells me all about her new project-based research. And at the end of the programme, I'll be chatting with Judith Honeyfield as she shows me how to make a nice apple crumble with custard. But now, before that, a special report on Facebook through learning with our special reporter, John Williams. Over to you, John.
Thank you, Patty. Yes, Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. 2 to 3 years ago, Bay of Plenty Polytechnic banned it. Student staff not allowed to use it. And then, a relaxation of the rules, and now recently, actively encouraged as a teaching tool by students and staff alike. Let's talk to some students and see what they think of Facebook.
Cool, so what do you think of the advantages of using Facebook as a tool for students and staff?
It's pretty good. It connects you straight to a teacher, and as we all know today, all the young kids are on Facebook, so all the students will pretty much be on there. So
Yeah.
it's really helpful to have the information right there.
Cool.
So we can just jump on the internet or on our phones and just click, have a look.
Yeah, and how have you?
Update from tutors.
Cool. How have you guys sort of used it this year in your sort of degree?
We've used it for just like keeping in contact with Laz and Ruth about different assessments.
Yeah.
And for yourself as well.
Yeah.
When you need help for things, like we've been able to say, yep, we want to do that, or sorry, can't make it, and
Great.
we've been able to voice our opinions with the tutors and ask them questions. So yeah, it's been very helpful.
It's a good tool because like you can like talk to your tutors and you can figure out what if you don't know something, to figure out straight away what you want to know.
Yep.
And like other students can see it as well and they can help you through it as well.
Cool. And how have you guys used it in your class with your tutors this year?
With this, like the criteria is up there, and they put PowerPoints up there as well, so you can download it and you can check everything that you've done in class, and you can just go over it again.
Cool.
So, Facebook, loved by students, Facebook pages all over the Polytechnic. What's the problem? Let's talk to a staff member from the Sport and Recreation Department to see what the problem is.
Yes, well, I mean, I love using Facebook. Within the Sport and Recreation Department, we have Facebook pages set up for all of our years, and we also have some individual pages set up for our courses. The students really enjoy them, and they seem to enjoy that interaction. However, what I found recently is that even though I don't befriend any of the students until they've graduated, they can now spot when I'm online. I do a lot of my Facebook in the evening, back to friends, back in the UK and around the world, and what I'm finding is I'm getting students messaging me who can spot that I'm online, asking me questions about assignments, assessments, and this I'm finding is blurring the line between home life and polytechnic life.
That does seem to be a problem for staff. Let's talk to a student and find out whether they contact staff members on evenings and weekends via Facebook.
How have you guys used Facebook in the class this year as a sort of a learning tool?
Just communicating with through like all the assessment we need to do, and getting like Shuri and KP putting the criteria all up so we can know what we need to learn and like what bits we need to actually learn to take down.
Yeah. Do you ever use it as a sort of a direct communication tool, a way of sort of messaging KP and Shuri? Yeah. Okay. On a weekend, if you sort of get stuck with something or you're doing an assessment, is it a good way of sort of communicating with tutors then?
Yeah, and then like, because if I chuck it Facebook and everyone comments on it, so everyone just helps each other, so it's pretty good. Like everyone comments and just helps each other out. Yeah.
Fabulous.
So, an actual problem has arisen here. Students contacting staff via the medium of Facebook during the evening and weekends. Let's go back to that staff member to see if they can think of any intervention strategies that might solve this problem.
Yes, well, I thought long and hard about this. I want to use Facebook. I think it's a fantastic teaching tool. I think it's great for interaction with students, and I think certainly it's a platform that they're all using at the moment. So what I've come up with is the idea of creating two profiles. A public profile for students to be able to see and for me to interact with, and a more personal profile to keep for my family and friends. Hopefully that will mean when it gets to sort of 8-9 o'clock in the evening and I'm using Facebook personally, I don't get too many calls or messages from students.
Well done to that staff member, using what I would term a functionalist intervention project strategy to get to the bottom of it. So, creating a new public profile for themselves to be able to talk to students, but also retaining their private profile to be able to talk to family and friends seems the perfect way out. That's the end of our action report. Back to you, Patty.
Thank you, John. Well, that's the end of Poteriaco News for another day. Please join us tomorrow when I'll be chatting to Jan Houseman as she takes me for a walk around the Table Tarmar offices. Later tomorrow, I'll be chatting to Heather Hamilton as she tells me all about research at the Bay of Plenty Polytechnic. And lastly, I'll be chatting to Chief Executive Officer Alan Hampton as he tells me about the 5 favourite flavoured donuts that he's ever eaten. Thank you and good night.